Hey, how you doing, guys? It's Austin, and today we're doing a video on current time frame technical analysis, which I know pretty foreign on this channel at least. But to be honest, my sleeping schedule is completely demolished. I mean, completely ass backwards. I woke up at 8 p.m. yesterday and went to sleep at 10 p.m. Not 10 p.m., 10 a.m. So just completely backwards sleeping schedule. I don't know how it happened, but this is what we're working with. So until then, I'm gonna have to post these types of videos until I get that back under control. But besides that, everything's actually going pretty good right now in terms of trading. So we broke out of the ascending wedge, absolutely fantastic. As well as that, macro wise, we have a target of about 5,500 bucks, pretty nice to look at. As well as that, short term time frame based off of this head and shoulders and this arm right here, about 6,200 ish dollars is the price range I'm looking at short term for us to drop to before any major level of support. That I mean that's pretty easy right there. As well as that, let's go ahead and look at some of the macro time frame. We do have a potential. Nah, that's just bullish convergence. Okay, so we're good on that front. Let's go down one notch. Just look for this. So we still do have a lot of bearish divergence as well, especially from back here. I mean, this is just not going away. My rule of thumb when it comes to divergences, it has nothing to do with ticks or anything. Usually, my rule of thumb is that, let's say I'm trying to connect this wave to this wave. Okay. If this wave is tall enough to block this one from viewing this one, it's like a fence. That's how I see it. All right. That's just a general rule of thumb for me. But luckily, there's nothing really blocking these over here. So we've had a ton of bearish divergence, as well as that. The RSI, it's not looking crazy good right now in terms of shorting, but we'll see about that. We'll see about that. That still probably needs some time after this current drop that we just had. But let's go ahead and go to Trading Light. This is a new tool that I've been using. Found it pretty cool. There's some nuances they have to learn when you start using it, like spoofed orders and all that stuff. But I've found a lot of cool things out of it, especially open interest. I haven't really used that in the past. I just know when I want to buy in and when I want to sell, and generally that lines up with the bigger money. But it's cool to see it actually graphed out. And as well as that, you can use support and resistance on open interest, which gives you a pretty good idea of where the market's going to be moving generally. So over here on the VPVR, we can see that we're currently hanging around one of the major supports around that $6,800 region to $6,700 region. If we break this region, we're most likely going to fall down to the 6,200, where at that point, it's possible that we actually do have another retest to the upside. Hopefully build some sort of good pattern to push us past 6,200. As well as that, once we break 6,200, about starting from 55 all the way down to 52 is the next major support, and it kind of just falls off a cliff there. So that's what we're looking at in terms of major level points, major price points. I don't know why I said level points. And as well as that, you can see a heat map of where the particular buy orders and sell orders are sitting. So that being said, a lot of the buy orders are sitting in the 50, let's see, starting at 52 all the way down to, I would say, about 4,000 bucks. Now, you might say, well, if they're looking to buy at $4,000, we're going to 4,000. Larger players do not bet all in on one thing. They spread their buys out over a general area. They're not expecting all of them to get hit. They're just expecting most of them to get hit and have a cushion underneath to support the price as it turns back to the upside. Now, let's talk about what I think might be happening in terms of macro pattern. I keep hitting the mic. I'm so sorry. It's like punching you guys in the face. But what I think might be happening is a possible Adam and Eve. And if you guys don't know, Adam and Eve's are like a bullish angel just fell from heaven and started playing Bitcoin. I don't know how to explain it. Let me show you the historic price action of Adam and Eve's on Bitcoin. I mean, it's absolutely insane when you put it into a chart. So Every single bull run has started with an Adam and Eve. Every single one, not a single one, has started without an Adam and Eve. That can be seen right here. Adam and Eve's have a sharp dip and then a rounded bottom. So we have a sharp dip, rounded bottom, break the neckline, break out. Okay. Down here, before the 2017 bull run, what do we have? It's a little bit different because it is a double retest of support, but that's okay. So we have a sharp dip, rounded bottom. It tried to break it here, but it couldn't. That's fine. Then we came back down. All that matters is it stayed within the pattern. Now, is it considered an Adam and Eve if it doesn't make it on the first go around? I don't really know. I'm going to be honest, but quite the coincidence here. So right here, another rounded bottom. Finally broke out. Absolute monster of a bull run. Down here, all right, back in 2013. Sharp dip, rounded bottom, break the neckline, bull run. The beginning of Bitcoin started with an Adam and Eve, which is pretty cool. Adam and Eve, beginning of Bitcoin. I know. All right, so right here, sharp dip, rounded bottom, broke the neckline, started moving up. Boom. So you guys see my point. Historically, Adam and Eve's have been the start of every single bull run. Bull run? Oh, my bad. And listen, I would love to theorize that we have a gigantic Adam and Eve, you know, kind of from 20K to 3K and all the way up to 14K. Maybe that's our sharp dip, and then we're creating a massive rounded bottom. That would be cool to think about. Is it going to come to fruition? Perhaps. I mean, that's going to be many, many months away, maybe even a year or two. But we'll see. All I know is right now, we do have the first step in an Adam and Eve. We have a very sharp dip and then a nice bounce. Now we're looking to create that rounded bottom. That is what I'm looking for. So based off of that, I would theorize that the bottom support should be no lower than about 52.36. And that should be our diagonal support created for this Adam and Eve. Now, obviously, I'm just talking about if this thing holds, if it creates the right formation, what could we potentially see off of it? That's something that I don't want to get into. There's a lot of speculation around that. I really don't want to put crazy ideas in you guys' heads. So I'm not even going to start. Next thing that I want to talk about before I head off for the day, I guess, because it's morning time right now. The 250K challenge. And how am I entering trades? How much am I using on the trades? You know, pretty much start to finish. And let me put a disclaimer in this before I start talking about this. I've been getting a lot of questions on how people can follow along. Now, I am using the Telegram as a means to tell you guys about these trades, but in no way do I promote you using these with crazy leverage, crazy risk, especially on your main portfolios. If you guys want to try this out with me and try it out with the crazy risk and, you know, the crazy leverage, please, for the love of God, make a separate account that has $50, $100, but please do not use your main portfolio. That is one way to decimate it. I promise you that, because I am using this as a trial run for my main portfolio. Why else would I be using $100? I know it sounds like a noble thing. I'm trying to teach you guys how to turn a small amount of money into a large amount of money. But at the end of the day, I want to perfect this so I can use it on my main portfolio. I feel like that's going to be very, very effective if I can get this down. Along the way, I am more than happy to show you guys how I do it. And especially if this challenge is completed to its fullest potential, I mean, that's just not something anybody else can say, can they? So we're going to go for it. I can tell you that. So what you're looking for when entering these types of trades. Now, I like to call this oppositional trading. You're basically hedging against yourself. So you need to put yourself in advantageous positions with good stop losses and good entries on both sides of a pattern. And then it's just a matter of waiting for that pattern to break out. That's the key. So You're essentially walking away with a 100% win ratio if you set these wins up correctly. Obviously, one account is losing and one account is winning, but you own both accounts, so you just walk away with everything. That being said, you need to be patient when waiting for these patterns. Can you use this on a scalping time frame? More than likely. But I choose to do this in a scalping time frame, not scalping, swinging time frame, because the supports and resistances that I will be using to take my longs and shorts off of are more than likely going to hold absolutely. So that's the reason why I chose to do this on a swinging time frame. So go ahead. All you need to do is find a pattern. This can be done with any type of pinching pattern, actually any type of pattern, as long as you're willing to wait for that point where it makes sense to make the trades. So we got to the pinnacle. I'm sorry, I'm sweating a little bit. It is hot in my room. We got to the pinnacle of this ascending wedge. From there, we took a short at 7,350. I'm rounding. I don't quite remember, honestly. And I believe my stop loss was at 7,600. Okay, so that's about a 3.4% stop loss. And I'm not sure. Okay, we'll use the actual target that we're looking at. So I'm going to put it at about 5,500. So that is a 7.31. Not too crazy. Okay, it's not too crazy. It's not the craziest, highest risk reward ratio that I've ever gotten. As well as that, we opened up a long at 77, 80, I believe, 70.80, with my stop loss below the current support. So at the time, I kind of put it over here. That was around a 3% as well. If we broke out to the upside, we can just go ahead and copy, paste this right here. So that was a 11.02. You might be asking yourself, well, wouldn't you be happier if we broke out to the upside? No, it doesn't really matter. And I'll show you why. So the objective is to get two good positions. They don't have to be insane, but they do have to be adequate in order for you to make the most out of this. And obviously, the long got stopped out. And fortunately, because I was changing my stop loss based on the diagonal support, I barely lost anything. Actually, I think I made just a little bit, but it wasn't anything significant, especially for the $100 account. So what happened was, as soon as we came back down below this and we broke this neckline here, I went ahead and I changed my leverage and upped my margin. So you guys know that when you're on Bybit, you can change your leverage, but it will, if you're, let's say you're using $50 for the trade and you up your leverage, now you'll be using $25 for the trade. I added back the remainder to make the margin what it was. So now I went from around, I think 18x leverage or so. Maybe it was like 15, 16. And I'm now on 50x leverage, which means from that point right there on my chart, every single percentage point is now worth 50%. So it's a long shot. And if we do get down to that level, it's going to take some time. But that's 23%. That's a 1,150% on margin with already around 100%, 150% actually, actual. So, I mean, that's quite hefty. Okay, so that comes out to about, let's see, I was using 50% of my portfolio. So, yeah, about almost 600% added to my portfolio off this one trade. So, that's what you need to do. You need to find these advantageous positions and take the longs and shorts, wait for a confirmation, a breakout, and then find a support or resistance once you're in enough profit to up your leverage, add back the original margin, and let it ride. Okay. So what that allows me to do is allows me to make funding in the meantime. I can scalp, I can do whatever. But you just let this trade sail its way down and you make tremendous profit on your accounts. Like I said, guys, this is something that is going to be a work in progress. It is not something that I intend for you guys to be following along with directly because I don't know if I have the patience required for this. All right, I consider myself pretty good at swing trading, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. But you don't know if I'm gonna make a wrong call here and there, and if you're risking 50% of your account and you lose, that's pretty much all of it right there. So please be careful. I'm going to try my best, but this is essentially what I'm doing here. I'm setting up two trades, making sure the winner outshines the loser and makes tremendous profit along the way. That is all. It is very simple, but requires you to be diligent and patient. So I appreciate it, guys. Hopefully, you guys have found tremendous profit in this short as well. And hopefully, we get this Adam and Eve because that could be a retest of 20K. Shoot. I wasn't supposed to say anything. But I appreciate it, guys. Love you. I'll see you on Wednesday, hopefully on live stream. But besides that, peace out, guys.